This episode of Unqualified is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving communities since 1965. On the drive to and from my parents' house in Washington State, we almost always stop at two particular McDonald's, one in Salem, Oregon, and another in Eureka, California. At the moment, we are in the parking lot of the Salem location, and I just finished a Big Mac and fries. Even though we are just passing through, I appreciate the familiarity and feeling of community. The other day, I was looking through my mother-in-law's photo album and came across a photo where she and her friends are standing in front of a McDonald's wearing their cheerleading uniforms. I usually call my mother-in-law New Mom, but her name is Marcia. Under the photo, Marcia had written a note, and I talked her into letting me read it here. San Bernardino, California. I have so many memories of this McDonald's over the years. My father took me there on what I think was opening day. What a thrill it was as a young girl to order a chocolate shake, hamburger, and French fries. Then there was the time when my cousin Hinda and I were given a tour and allowed to take dill pickles by the cupful out of a huge barrel. We must have eaten 100 pickles each. Everyone in my family knows the story of how I accidentally missed the ketchup container and dipped a fry into my milkshake. Now when I dip fries in my shake, it's on purpose. I remember when I was 12 years old, my mother and my cousin Noel Novak, Larry's brother, picked me up from dance class, and we went for dinner to celebrate Noel's graduation from high school. Years later, when I was in high school, we would go to McDonald's every Friday night after the football game. I wish you could see this photo. Marcia couldn't remember if they won the game that night, but everyone is smiling as if they did. Wherever your local McDonald's is, there's nothing better than that wonderful feeling of community. Well, maybe that feeling is tied with eating a Big Mac. McDonald's, I'm loving it. But Sim, do you remember how to hit the button?
I think it's already recording, right? We're rolling already.
All right.
Nice.
Okay, so Sim, how did...
Oh, I do.
I know.
That's
you
what
have
they all
to speak
say.
weirdly close.
Get right up on there.
And then you feel like the reverberation of your breath.
No, I'm telling you, this is like this is my dream. This like a recording studio, because I have that I wish I were a musician kind of thing. So this is
Really?
And so podcast is the only thing.
Wait,
what do you sing?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, I love music.
Yeah.
I don't really play an instrument, although I have started that's not true. So my fiance gave me I call it a baby banjo for Christmas last year. It's like a ukulele, but it's sort of a banjo.
You brought it.
Oh, I'm terrible. I'm like the worst. But so I started singing along to it, and I've been taking singing lessons. I'm not going to sing for you now, and I probably will never sing in front of other people. Yeah. But anyway, I just think it's really fun, and I have a lot of friends who are musicians. But a podcast. This is like my radio dreams come true.
Have you been on a podcast before? Or is this your first time?
I was on Dinner Party Download.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Dear listeners, tonight we have Julia Stiles. I'm so excited. She flew in from Vancouver. And
just for the podcast, by the way.
Well, she may also
really
have a little bit of work to do here as well. Yes. But it is. I know that it was probably a huge inconvenience, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
All we're gonna do is we're just gonna clog you over the head with something heavy later on.
Okay.
And wrap you up and keep you in my attic for a while.
And drug me, so I start insisting that we do karaoke.
You tell your agents or anyone else that you were going to be doing this podcast
I was wondering
today?
why I had to go to a isolated home all by myself.
Would that be a good thriller? Like somebody who starts a
pretty
podcast?
well known. Like they would know if you
really
had bodies in your basement.
Really?
Eventually, they'd
shoot.
I don't know about that. They don't know Anna that well then.
But
I don't know. Would is that a good thriller? Like, come over to my house for like
For a
band
podcast,
practice?
sure, and then or band practice.
Or like podcast or whatever. Like, let's say you're not a famous person,
Okay.
but you have some family money, and you invite people over to your house under the guise of like, let's do something creative, and then they kind of disappear.
I think that's happened quite a bit in this town, in Los Angeles, since like
That's true.
since the 1970s,
What
probably.
about that fella that Phil Spector? Yeah, I guess it was little Phil Spector.
Phil Spector, Charlie Manson, probably anywhere in Laurel Canyon.
Well, you're very close to Laurel.
What are you saying, Anna?
Welcome, Julia. Okay, so wait, what were we talking about before? It was something more interesting than
How you do,
murdering.
Matt?
Oh, that's not interesting. No one wants to hear about that, do they? We'd rather
I
hear
want
about.
to hear more about the mini banjo.
Yes.
Oh, so no, I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, you just play chords on it. I'm not like Steve Martin or anybody. It's like a smaller instrument, so it's easy to carry with you on airplanes and traveling a lot, which I've been doing. So when you get lonely in your trailer or your hotel room, you can.
That's
play
just
anything.
sexy.
Oh,
That is. That's
well, maybe.
I don't have that ability to concentrate on something that's like that doesn't involve me talking to people.
I only do it so I can sing along to it, and like, yeah, I just.
So do you write your own
I'm
songs?
digging a hole for myself right now because it's like the more you talk about something, you're gonna have to.
At some point.
It's actually, I don't know. It's just something that I think is really fun, and so I probably I'm coming out with a rap album. I will be spinning. It'll be dropping. No, I'm kidding.
I was in.
I was so
Oh my-
excited.
Yeah, but the look on your face was like, is she for real? Just go with it.
But do you write your own songs as well?
No. I'm talking like it's the equivalent of doing karaoke. Like it's just fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But Julia, you're recently engaged.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to do like bridesmaids? How do you feel? How do you feel about
I
bridesmaids?
don't know. I don't, honestly, we are not. We
That
are
far?
we are in the daydreaming. Like this would be really fun with all the, stars in our eyes, and I feel and like birds flying. So I feel like that was a cartoon reference. Anyway,
I love it.
I'm just worse. I'm blissed out. I'm so happy, and I don't feel like in a rush to start making plans. And people get. All I want is for us to not get crazy with wedding planning, and I know he wants that too. So it's really fun to be like,
because people like me are like, well, where are you at in your planning? And you're like, we just fucking met.
well, I
just got off a plane. Please don't fucking ask me about my wedding fucking plans.
I think it's the kind of thing where like once you set the date and commit to going for that, then maybe craziness ensues. But I feel like can't you? It's your thing. Can't we just do whatever we want? I mean,
yes, you can. That is yes, you can. I mean, Chris and I eloped. It was so smart. It was our special day, and I don't know. It didn't because people can't help themselves to bring their own stuff, their own needs subconsciously to like a wedding day, whether it's like your aunt's like.
I mean, in fairness, my mom and my future mother-in-law are really cool, and I don't feel any pressure in that way. We had an engagement party that was really lovely, and it was really small, and like my parents flew in, and two of my best friends flew up from LA, and my heart was so swollen with joy and love that I was like, it was so great, and like if that could be a mini version of a wedding, great.
Yeah. I think like
in like the French Riviera. No, I don't know.
But
I don't know. Also, weddings, are really expensive. I mean, not that obviously it's worth it, but I don't know.
I don't know if it's worth it, and I also don't think that. They are a fortune, but I also think that like you can't worry about offending anybody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
I also have heard. I've been to weddings where it seems like the bride and the groom don't get to talk to each other the whole night.
Yeah.
Don't really want that. I don't know. I'm really happy, and like you were saying, I think as an actress, because you go to all these, you're lucky to go to like the movie premiere or get your hair and makeup done. Not lucky, but that's something that's part of your job. It doesn't become
like
that like I don't feel that need to like this is my day. I want it to be just a fun party with all of our loved ones.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested. You asked her about bridesmaids and how she feels about bridesmaids and bridal parties in general. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about them?
I've been a bridesmaid twice. Once I was a terrible bridesmaid. I was like, my cousin's wedding. I think I was.
What do you mean a terrible bridesmaid? I like this story.
I think I had my aunt gave me a talking to.
You dropped acid.
No, because I just bailed on. I was going through some in my life and just wasn't invested or wasn't I wasn't negative, but I just like I like the party bus on the wine tour at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, no thanks. I love my cousin dearly, but I just didn't want to do that. So I wasn't part of the team. And then the second time I was a bridesmaid.
Okay.
It was fine. But one of my best friends, I was a bridesmaid at her wedding, and she was really cool about it. She was like, as long as you like pick a color in this scheme and get your own dress and be fine with it. I don't know. A lot of those traditions. I understand,
stupid.
Thank you. Okay, I was being diplomatic, so as not to offend the bridezillas out there. No, I think that a lot of those traditions are just like really old fashioned, and you're kind of like, what? This doesn't make any sense.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by ZocDoc. Who gets excited about trying a new restaurant that has 2 out of 5 stars? When it comes to finding healthcare, don't ratings matter even more? ZocDoc is a free app where you can compare doctors, read reviews from real patients, and even make same-day appointments. When I finally called to reschedule my dentist appointment, I was told that my dentist had been retired for nearly 3 years. In my defense, parking was a nightmare. Through ZocDoc, I found a new dentist who had great reviews, took my insurance, and whose office was actually within walking distance. I was also able to book an appointment instantly without talking to a receptionist who made me feel guilty about not having my teeth cleaned for 3 years. My new dentist didn't make me feel guilty either, and only suggested I floss a little more often. Whether you need a primary care physician, dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or other specialist, ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. Go to ZocDoc.com/unqualified and download the ZocDoc app. Sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor who might be available as soon as today. That's ZocDoc.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and the lofty goal of creating boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Sunglasses, with or without a prescription, start at $95 and, just like eyeglasses, are available through their home try-on program. You just choose 5 pairs and see which ones you like. I was surprised by how quickly they arrived, which presented me with the immediate problem of deciding which ones to keep. I loved all of them, so you can guess what happened. And not only can you feel good about how cool you look, you can also feel good knowing that for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need through partnerships with nonprofits like Vision Spring. Offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams, Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. So put your FSA or HSA dollars to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/unqualified. That's warbyparker.com/unqualified.
For the party that we had that sort of made up for the wedding that our families didn't attend, asked, like, I thought it was going to be an easy thing. I asked all the women because I started getting like questions about, what should my attire be? And I just said, you know what? How about this? How about pick out a black dress that you love? Your sexiest black dress, the black dress that you just love. And that way I can pretend that all of the women there are my bridesmaids. And we'll take one mass photo of
cool.
like,
I like that.
Me and like, 40 women or whatever. And I thought it was a good idea. I don't know. There's nothing easy about any of it. I mean, then
do you feel like, because I don't know how long you've been married, but do you feel like,
I don't know either.
Remember virginity in like high school or something? Like, I feel like the world, when I was a teenager in high school, the world was divided into the virgins and the non-virgins. And now I sort of understand this, like, divided into married people and not married people. Single people and people who are dating and people who are in a committed relationship.
Mm-hmm. And then there's
suckers.
Then the kid factor gets brought into it.
Yeah.
But when you talk about virginity, that reminds me of a word. And there's a lot of words that some people don't like, but I pride myself on being a sort of a word lover. Like, I don't mind moist or panties, or like some people, mind those words. But hymen.
Do you know I had a babysitter whose last name was Hyman?
You did?
Yeah, her name. I mean, could be one of those family like apocryphal things. So maybe it was made up by my parents to scare me. But her name was Millie Hyman.
Millie Hyman.
Millie
Hyman.
Mildred, I guess was short for Mildred.
Hyman.
Millie Hyman.
And she was 12.
I barely remember because I think I was like 3 or something. But I've heard a lot of stories about her.
Hyman.
Yeah.
When we were creating the language for our genitalia, why is everything unbelievably unsexy? I mean, scrotum, hymen.
Wait, is scrotum sexy overall? Like, in general, when you see a scrotum, is that sexy to you?
No, but it could be something like sexy or soft or something.
Girls are sitting around at brunch and they're
like, oh my God.
And
Ryan's
scrotum. I knew he was the one when I saw his scrotum.
Wait a minute. But don't forget about his taint.
Well, don't, but...
Oh my God. There's so many names for taint also. There's like taint, there's grundle,
we don't have
there's
any
nifkin.
better. Penis is not a very like strong sounding word.
Well, do you like dick?
Yeah, I like dick better than penis.
Do you like cock?
I like cock better than penis.
Okay.
I like dick better than cock, but cock better than penis. Like, I tell my son, like, can you please hold your penis while you urinate so it doesn't get all over? So mommy doesn't have to use like a Lysol wipe. This is how we get our big sponsor, Lysol. It's a family show. No, what do you think
of slang, of words?
Well, yeah,
because
vagina is kind of terrible. Labia. Could you get any worse than labia?
You could, but it's all very technical. But slang, I mean, it took me a really long time to
say
yeah.
Can you say it?
Pussy.
You did.
Nice job.
Only because of Sarah Silverman. She liberated that word for me. And then now but see, that's the thing about like dick and pussy. You can use it in so many different contexts. Like, don't be such a pussy, or stop being such a dick. And then obviously other contexts too that are more romantic. But I agree with you.
I'm just looking forward to recording your honeymoon.
I can feel the heat radiating off of my face now.
I'm sorry.
Also, because I feel like, do you now think about your in-laws like, oh, my mother-in-law might listen to this someday?
Oh, no. My mother-in-law is so awesome. She will love all this. It's my parents.
Okay.
That are the problem. Yeah. No, it's my parents. Yeah. They are. Yeah.
But they've got to be used to it by now.
Well, I just tell them to not listen. I tell them they can listen to a couple episodes, and they don't even know how to download a podcast anyway. So I'm like, I broke them in really early with Scary Movie. My first gig was one of the most, at the time, offensive movies.
So how did you prep your parents for that?
I just said, there's going to be some scenes where Mom, when I tell you that you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go immediately.
Oh, this is like during like a preview screening?
Yeah.
And then
I made her go. And then she just didn't tell. She was so embarrassed that she didn't tell anybody around her that I was in this movie.
Why? It was a hugely successful movie. It was like iconic.
Yes, it was.
I mean,
it broke every record at the time.
But it was so like, you know, I mean, my mom was like, you know, you should be Anne Frank. You should be like an astronaut. You should be like, I don't know, Eleanor Roosevelt. And instead I'm like, what about Cindy Campbell from I don't know. I dashed all her lofty hopes she still has them though. She's still like, Ani, one day I know you're going to play like the role, you know, of a lifetime. I'm like, okay, Mom. Yes, I will.
She's still waiting for that day.
Oh, she's still waiting. She's gonna have to wait a long ass time.
You could like videotape or whatever videotapes. What are those anyway? iPhone. Use an iPhone and like record yourself in like a mock production of something.
Yeah,
just keep the dream alive.
She would buy it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do something together?
Oh, I know. You're in the biopic of Terry Gross.
Okay, great.
And you could just videotape yourself doing this. Not that, yeah. You could just videotape yourself doing this podcast and be like, Mom, I'm in the running for an Oscar this year.
The Terry Gross story.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what? It's actually incredibly inexpensive to produce because it's just one studio.
Right. Just pull out the iPhone and have Sim tape it.
Absolutely.
We do have some questions for you.
Well, great. I hope I have some answers. I expected that.
Okay.
So we're doing a little segment called Not So Rapid Fire. It's different from rapid fire because it's not as
quick.
Right.
That's good. That means
just
I get to
Sim's thought process right now.
I get to like breathe and take my time.
Take your time with it. Exactly.
Sim, I don't have it.
I emailed it to you.
Here's an interesting question for you. Do you? Well, I just called my own question interesting.
I love that.
Do you? Because I always feel like anytime I ever do an interview, inevitably, I walk away going, like 20 minutes later or an hour later, the next day. Usually I let it go by the next day. Like I think of a really brilliant answer. Do you ever have people walk out of here and you're like, wait, I wanted to ask you this?
Yes. Yeah. Sort of. Except
No, you're just like, what's for dinner?
Self-consumed. Yeah, it's gross.
No, that's way healthier.
No, it's not healthier.
It's more self-consumed to be like replaying your answers in your head.
Oh, I've definitely walked out of every interview I've ever done and been like, that was idiotic. Why didn't I come up with something more clever? Oh, that was a trap I fell into. What am I doing? Like, but no, it turns out I'm less. I am fascinated. I was about to say that I'm not as interested. But the reason why I'm doing this podcast is because I am fascinated by people, which is why we reach out to strangers and stuff. But I also, I don't know, it also makes me feel what the wonderful thing about the podcast has also been, I've talked about this before, is like been the idea that I get to have some degree of control.
Yeah.
Of like control over the content a little bit, or at least how my voice is being heard, as opposed to in the past where an interview, you know, a journalist will interview me and I'll be like, oh my God, why did I say that? And then like the story will come out and I'll feel horrible about myself because it's, you know, it doesn't feel like me or whatever. And this feels like this is something that I have a little bit more, this can be my sort of antidote to.
Yeah, totally.
Antidote.
Yeah, not anecdote. Anecdotally, it could be an antidote, but
yes, it could be.
This is when my mom gets embarrassed.
No.
Like, we paid for your college education.
Yeah, absolutely. You're expressing yourself without any filter. That's great.
And and it feels like
And you're getting to talk to people and
strangers
Changing people's lives. You know, so we had...
by the way, also podcast saves me. Your podcast, but also just podcasts in general, saves me.
What other ones do you love?
One of my very dear friends has a podcast called Mashup Americans. That's all about immigrant families or mixed, like a mashup. It's what the title is, Mashup Americans. It sort of celebrates like multicultural families and multiculturalism.
That's cool.
Incredible.
Which, you know, I'm sort of like, oh, well, duh. But then you realize that actually not everybody thinks that. Like, it's very upbeat and celebratory, I would say. Like, isn't it cool that her co-host is has a son who's Korexican, as she calls it, meaning half Mexican, half Korean. Like, isn't it great that we have all these holidays that we can celebrate and all these different gatherings traditions that we can mix up? I think that's pretty obvious, and I was always jealous of that when I was younger. Like, I think in elementary school I lied and said that my mom had given birth to me in France because I don't even know if she's ever been to France, but it was just because I felt so white and so vanilla that, like, anyway. But that was growing up in New York City. I feel like that's not so obvious.
As like a first grader, like smoking a cigarette and being like, no.
Yeah. Right. My mother was yeah, exactly. No, I am half French. What other ones? Dinner Party Download's a good one. Alec Baldwin's is a good one.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
A lot.
But you know, it's my favorite thing to listen to making dinner. It's my favorite thing to listen to waiting, you know, at an airport.
Or even on a plane. I listen when I'm traveling or when I'm driving. That's my favorite thing to do. I don't even listen to music as much anymore.
Yeah. It's like radio. It takes the place.
Exactly.
The radio.
Love it.
Okay, now we are going to move on to a segment called Rapid Fire or Not So Rapid Fire, depending on your mood.
Okay.
Okay, this is a series of questions.
Is it called Not So Rapid Fire, or can I choose Rapid Fire or Not So Rapid Fire?
Well, I think there are some questions that are rapid fire that are probably one-word answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's best if I don't overthink things, but go for it.
Number 1, does humming or whistling bother you?
No. I often...
Great.
Oh. You're like, shut. So if you want to hum while I'm speaking, that's fine. No, I do that. I hum and whistle a lot if I'm nervous.
Really?
And in fact, I do that a lot walking down the street, and then it looks like I'm talking to myself. Actually, more like, humming.
Like, what do you mean? Can you give us a little example? Like, you're walking down the street.
This is why... well, haven't you ever seen people walking down the street and they're listening to their headset, like an iPhone
like
thing, and then they're in like the soundtrack of their life, their own music video? Mm-hmm. I do that without the headset or the headphones.
God, I envy that.
I mean, do other people humming and whistling?
Yeah.
Depends on the person, maybe, and the context. Like, if they were whistling on an airplane, I probably would be like, but.
You know what? That is kind of annoying.
I'm always impressed with people who can actually whistle it like the tune, you know?
I think whistling is more fun for the whistler as opposed to the whistly.
Mm-hmm. I was walking down the street.
The whistly.
That's true. It's not the listeners. I was walking down the street the other day with my fiance, and legitimately, this sounds so stupidly like it was in a romantic comedy, but it happened. I was unwittingly humming a song, and I must have been going on for like 10 minutes. And eventually he just looked at me and was like, "What are you singing?" Meaning that we hadn't been talking for like 10 minutes because I was just singing whatever song we had heard in a store somewhere.
Okay. So we know that you're a huge Mets fan.
Me too, by the way.
Oh, good.
I'm from Long Island.
Fuck you, Sam.
There you go.
If you were a baseball
That's
player...
the only reason to be a Mets fan. Just kidding.
If you were a baseball player, what position would you play? We also have a follow-up question, but we'll get to that.
Okay, outfield's probably boring, but that means you're a good hitter. So that's...
Or you could be really speedy, too.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fast people in the outfield as well.
Yeah.
Don't try to influence her.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Pitching, very stressful and bad on your rotator cuffs.
Right.
Catching, you have to wear... You're squatting the whole time, and you have to wear, like... I'm doing process of
and there's a lot of pressure.
Right,
yeah, there's a lot of pressure, too, because you're controlling the entire game.
Yeah.
So you have to worry about... like, you know, the defense and the offense and worry about the pitcher as well and everything else. Catcher's a tough
say like
position.
a shortstop or second base.
Ooh, so you're really athletic.
No, only this is a fantasy right now. Why do I have to? You were saying realistically, what would I play?
No, just your fantasy.
Yeah, it would be shortstop. But also, by the way, I am a huge baseball fan, but baseball is for me like Valium. Like I don't, guys, if you tell a guy that you're a baseball fan, they're like throwing out statistics and athletes' names, and it's a lot of
I'm
like,
not going to do it. I won't do it. This is not that type of show.
I know, but
I don't play that game, and I listen to baseball on the radio.
Wow.
and-
Wait, you're a real fan then?
well, but it's like it's nostalgic for me. It's like and it lulls me into like this. It's like, like you just shot heroin or something. Like I don't need to. I imagine I've never done that. I don't. It's like, yeah, it just is. I find it really soothing and a fun game to watch. But I don't get broy about. RBIs.
I've never had like mental envy before. I want to know how to calm my brain down like that. Because Chris,
Howie Rose.
my
Listen to
husband
Howie
can do the
Rose.
same
Wow. You know Harry Rose? Oh,
Yeah. Well, that's
oh,
why
I grew up
yeah.
listening to Harry Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
He was the announcer in New
Yes.
York.
And he passed
Do you remember Ralph?
away.
Do you remember Ralph Kiner?
No.
Okay, he did the games on Channel 9, WOR. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So we're gonna go. Sorry, this is when I.
3.
All right, we're
What's
gonna
the third
stop.
question?
We'll stop
Okay,
talking.
here's a follow up. You're sitting behind the Mets dugout at Citi Field.
Okay.
You have a huge wad of chewing tobacco stuffed in your cheeks, so you're feeling a weird tobacco buzz. Mm-hmm. You notice third baseman David Wright checking you out by the on the deck circle, which I don't know what that is.
By the on deck circle. Yeah, I get it.
Yep. He scribbles something onto a baseball and tosses it over to you. You look at the ball and it says, "Save your spit, hot stuff." Star
one.
pitcher Bartolo Colon.
Cologne.
Cologne.
Oh, poor guy is always being called Colin.
Hand you a Sharpie. What do you write back?
He wrote "Save your spit, hot stuff."
And listen, it's a tense game.
I would
You got
write. This is a rapid fire answer.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the game, you dirty perv. Because the implications of, and a picture of my engagement ring. No, but I mean, yeah, save your spit means like instead of chewing tobacco, save your spit for what?
Actually,
That's where my mind went.
We wrote this with just you having just huge wads of chewing tobacco. So
The Save Your Spit was your line. Huh?
That's amazing.
That was all
Amazing.
you.
Like I could sort of insult his performance and then call him a perv.
do you say
Because
something like
because they like that.
They do like that. It motivates them.
I'm not like, oh, baseball player. Yeah, totally.
I know. Well, you probably also wouldn't be like stuffing your cheeks with a ton of chewing tobacco either. Well, maybe.
Well, no, probably not. I think I'm like sort of getting a little nauseous.
I know.
Thinking
That's
about
what
it.
I was thinking. Like
But-
you could say something like, "Well, it'll include a little vomit. Go win this for us."
Yeah.
That's a lot to write on a ball. Okay, we can move on to the next one. You're at a Hollywood party. You see an actor you really admire across the room. You're looking at him. He makes eye contact with you. He gives your body a once-over, like this, with his eyes, and then proceeds to give you a half-smile head jerk. What do you do?
I already hate him. I mean, I already am so bored with this guy.
I know, but it's such a disappointment because you really liked his
Right,
performance,
right.
and you've been watching his show obsessively.
Right. You lost me. I would totally walk up to him, not say a word, not introduce myself, and just say, "You lost me" at the what was it? The nod, the
Perfect
head jerk?
answer.
Yeah.
Head jerk. Perfect answer.
The head jerk.
Great job. You A+.
And then yeah, if he had like a witty response, maybe the conversation would continue. But no, that's not.
I know. Have you gotten that before? Head jerk. I got it once this is actually a question.
I don't think it's a Hollywood thing. I think that's just a certain type of guy.
I got it once from an actor that I really did admire at a Hollywood party, and I was like, oh, I felt so deflated. I was like, head jerk, huh?
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess you're a disappointment.
What would the caption to that head jerk be? As a guy, what's the caption?
So it's sort of like, what's up? I know you know me, and I know you. We should
Oh yeah, I guess the whole
get
we're
together.
in that
We're like,
recognizing-
yes, exactly.
Oh,
Like,
really?
We have this,
That changes it a little bit.
We
It's not a total
we know
stranger.
that we are both in the same profession.
I took
and-
it as like an insult. I took it as like, you know, I'm more powerful than you are. Head jerk. That's how I took it. But
But
you're
what if?
saying
Oh my
that
God!
it's
What if in a
little
different version of that scene in a movie, in his inner monologue was like, "Oh my God, that's Anna Faris! Oh my God, look cool! What's up?"
and he's maybe he's just trying to play it cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
poor guy.
that could be it too. That could be it also.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt that was the thing. But maybe you're right. Maybe it was like more.
Well, you
about
did
this, or
did say that, you know,
in the
that
inside.
that he checked out her body first, right?
Yes, in this version.
Right, in this version.
Oh, it's like,
yeah.
isn't there like, aren't there books that guys read about that thing? Like if you like undercut her and make her feel insecure by looking her up and down and vulnerable.
Yeah, it's called negging. There's
my
there's a
God,
term
really?
for it. Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna go slit my wrist right now.
I know.
I get, but you're saying it wasn't even not even just a stranger, but like in like an industry thing. I get way more starstruck with or like nervously excited about and sort of in awe of musicians than I do with actors. So if it were a famous musician that did that, I don't know. At this point, I'm newly engaged, you guys. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And musicians, we have our own. I have my own.
The worst, way worse. Or, I mean, on par with actors. I don't know.
Well, Anna talks about the fact that musicians are on a list of professions that you should never date,
Right.
Yeah.
along with magicians.
Yeah, magician's number one.
Have you ever dated a musician? A magician?
No, I haven't ever dated anybody.
Oh, okay.
I went from from whomever would have me for a long period of time to the next person who would have me for a long period of time.
Aww.
But I have a very tight vagina. Okay. So here's a question from one of our fans at Anna K. Faris on Twitter wants to know.
That's not you on Twitter. That's somebody else on Twitter?
It might be me.
Okay.
Have you ever been interested in becoming a falconer?
No, because I do know what that is. Not until just now. Is that a real?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I've seen it. In London, I think, like the Tower of London, and then maybe it's the person that wrangles the falcon.
Yeah. No interest?
No, not really.
Do you have interest?
I do.
We have nothing in common then.
I have like a serious phobia of pigeons that like, so I don't like the whole idea of like birds
Have you been to Venice?
like flying at my face.
Have you?
I have. Yeah.
Have you-
that was
seen-
sort of before the phobia developed, but
When did the
that's
phobia
crazy.
develop?
I was working in London for a long time, and I felt like the pigeons there are very aggressive, and like they fly really close to you, and so I could never tell. You know, it's like traffic. Like you can kind of get the timing of cars and other people, and pigeons, and vermin in any given city. And in London, for whatever reason, I couldn't figure out the timing, and I just felt like I was walking down the street constantly, like
Swooping down.
yeah.
Pigeon attack. You saw birds.
Oh yeah.
That freaked me out.
But you still want to be a falconer?
I kind of like I sort of like the idea. Well, you know, my falcons could attack the pigeons.
That's
Easy
true.
peasy.
That's true. I mean, they definitely serve their purpose, falcons.
And imagine how
And
cool
you get
I
to
would
wear,
be.
yeah, the
Like,
wristband.
You thought I was just the spoof movie queen. Turns out I control falcons.
You actually really should practice that and get going on it, because I think when you
Birds
answer
of
the
prey.
door, when people come, like strangers come to your house for the podcast, you can answer the door.
Yep.
Or just at a party.
That would be really cool, by the way.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
I mean, we've been
Watch out. Oh, here comes swooping in.
We've been getting a lot of
My-
fan art, so maybe one of our listeners can design like you with as a falconer. That would be awesome.
Incredible.
Well, let's see who does it first.
You should
that'd be
totally do that.
amazing.
And then you can show up to those Hollywood parties where guys give you the jerk.
My
nod.
plus one.
Yeah.
Here's my
It'll totally change the conversation.
falcon. Ay. And to my dear listeners, I actually am holding my arm up right now
She is.
in preparation for the non-existent falcon that might land on it.
Good form. Okay.
Okay.
You have good form.
Thank you.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Osea. Wondering what to gift your friends and family this holiday season? Female founded over 25 years ago by a mother and daughter team, Osea's award-winning cleansers, serums, face moisturizers, and body products give you the results you want. Skin that looks and feels amazing. I recently got to try Osea's new body butter, which, like their now famous Undaria algae body oil, transforms dry skin without being greasy, has the same incredible scent, and leaves your skin soft, smooth, and healthy looking. If my experience is any indication, you can count on your partner giving you a lot of compliments. This holiday season, stock up and share your new favorite clean skincare and body care with your friends and family. Unqualified listeners get 10% off your first order with promo code ANNA at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. Gifting is always easier if you start early, so head to OSEAMalibu.com. Use code ANNA. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by State Farm, and in honor of their surprisingly great auto insurance rates, I'm going to tell you about a particularly surprising day on set. It takes me a long time to read a script. For almost every line of dialogue, I will stop to figure out why my character would say it, how it fits in the conversation, and how it's going to come out of my mouth. Between the lines, there are larger chunks of text which describe everything else happening in the scene. Maybe what a room looks like, what characters are wearing, and what they're doing. As I often underestimate how long everything in my life takes, I know I can make up some time by reading those larger chunks a little faster. I got the script for Overboard about 6 months before we started production. I read it in my warm living room, wearing comfortably warm clothes, sipping from a warm mug of tea. Somehow, it never occurred to me that when you jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean, the water is surprisingly cold. And it doesn't get any warmer on take 2. Here at Unqualified, we love State Farm because they provide coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Okay, so here's a question from one of our more annoying fans. This is from @Simsarna on Twitter. You're a single woman who works in sales at a boat showroom in Marina del Rey. You're on a date at a Spanish tapas restaurant, and it's going great. He's charming, handsome, successful, and he invites you back to his Spanish hacienda, which is only a block away, for an after-dinner glass of Madeira. Too many vowels in that. Madeira. As he's pouring you the wine, you notice a collection of ceramic garden gnomes on the shelf above the television. On the shelf above that one, you notice a set of ceramic clowns. A, does either one of those freak you out? If so, why? And B, is it a deal breaker if it does?
It might.
Do you not
might slow the night down.
Right.
Let's just put it that way.
But you wouldn't. You wouldn't leave right away. You wouldn't head for the exit.
No. It's not a deal breaker. What is it when your vagina dries up? What happens? What's it? When it's like it might make the,
dry,
like so.
I think it's called a drussy. Dry pussy. Drussy?
It might sew itself closed at that point.
A sussy.
Just hypothetically, because again, this would never happen.
Sewed up pussy. Sussy?
A sewed up pussy is a
Is
sissy.
there a word for that?
We just invented one. Anna did at least a sissy.
All right. So, but gnomes or clowns don't freak you out independently.
No. It's more just like a collection, a ceramic collection. I mean, if he said like, oh, they were given to me by my grandmother when she died, I'd be like, okay. But if it's
Ah,
or if
there
he
you
was like
go.
a fixation with, I don't know. That's such a weird situation.
Absolutely. It's incredibly weird.
I'm glad you thought of it.
Actually, it was a combination. We started one place. We started with a boat showroom,
'cause
and then we
Sam-
went to a completely different direction
Sam
for
was
no
total
apparent
mindfuck.
reason
That was-
whatsoever.
Yeah,
right?
why did you have the boat showroom
Because
in
that's
there?
just what we do.
Well, I wanted you to be sort of a saleswoman. But no, Sim is freaked out by garden gnomes.
I don't like them.
And
Yeah.
so that's sort of where this.
They scare you.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah,
What does your
But Sim's
therapist say
easily
about
scared.
I know it's true too.
that? Right.
Yeah,
I scare him
she does.
frequently. Boo. It's true though. It's weird. You are a little freaked out by things. Are you freaked out? You are kind of.
No, not mean. What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, you're kind of superstitious, right?
I mean, a little. Yeah, I mean, I'll do the same things over and over again. Sure, that's what superstition is. Sure.
No, I think
Superstition, or
that's
that's
sort
like-
of like autism or something, or it's
Okay.
like obsessive compulsive.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
Sorry,
slightly.
yes. I apologize to the autistic people out there because you're
Oh my God.
much braver. And
I appreciate that.
smarter
Thank you.
than-
So you have to
Right.
like repeat things. I mean, I totally understand. I could go down a superstition, obsessive compulsive rabbit hole, but I stop
have you?
myself.
Okay.
So
yeah, I try not to.
Yeah.
I try not to.
Well, actors, I mean that's the whole thing though. We do this to ourselves, people in this industry. It's like you can't say good luck because then whatever, you won't have it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like it
right.
starts at such an early age. And the idea of like, if I don't do this routine before an audition, I won't get the role or whatever. Like you can easily go, just like you said, down the rabbit hole. And then you're just in there. You've made yourself insane in a town that makes you insane anyway. Right? I don't know. Right?
this town,
Aren't you crazy like me?
So I'm gonna call an Uber, and I'll see you guys later. This was
Thanks
really
for
fun.
joining us.
This was really fun. I don't live here, so I don't know. But you're making me really not want to move.
Well, I mean, this town though, it really has given me so many, I don't know, wonderful things.
Oh yeah, no. And first of all, this house is amazing, and this table is the size of my apartment in New York, by the way. And yeah,
It's
there's
a
a lot of
weird-
really interesting people in
it's
LA. It's
so-
a huge city.
This house, so we bought it with the furniture. Like they sold the house to us with the furniture, and I had this tiny little mid-century house, and I had this delicate little mid-century furniture at the house. So I'm going to give you a tour. It is a creepy hodgepodge of creepiness between my husband's animal heads and my creepy, like look at that weird tacky Baroque thing right there. That is gross.
I'm like, I bet you could take that on Antiques Roadshow, and you could
That was
retire.
A dear friend of
Not that we
mine
want you to.
is a nanny for an incredibly wealthy family, and they were getting rid of that, and I was like, oh yes, okay.
Well, because
So-
you have so much space that you had to fill up. I get it. I get it.
So now it's here. I want to show you what's in there. And also, yeah, like there's all kinds of just, you know what it is? It's that I have no vision.
Oh, Anna.
But I mean, I say this with pride in an idiotic way. I have no vision. And actually, kind of it's true with our podcast. Like
We have no vision. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we have the
for
vision of
yourself.
that, hopefully, that, we'll have a lot of listeners at some point and whatnot. But really, we understood early on that there was going to be a learning curve and that we would
Oh, well,
sort of
we've
find
been
our
doing
strength.
this for a while now, and we
A
have
while now.
a good amount of listeners.
We have a great amount of, and you know what? They're the best listeners in the whole
They
wide
are
world.
amazing.
I love them.
I love them too. I feel like they're all our friends.
They are all our
Yes.
friends, but you know what I'm saying is
I
that.
know.
No, do you?
Of course, I know.
No, you don't.
Yeah, maybe I don't.
Fuck you. Okay. Now,
Sorry, Julia.
That's okay.
one last thing before we take a small urination break.
Yes.
I'm going to build you a sandwich. Okay?
Okay. I mean, and this is an imaginary sandwich? Or
Imaginary
you got-
sandwich.
Okay.
Will you
this
tell
part.
me warmer or colder
Oh,
as I build your sandwich?
sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to start with a French baguette.
Warm.
I've sliced it in half.
Good.
I'm going to put a layer of mayonnaise.
Un petit layer de mayonnaise. Ouais.
Very, very thin. Very, very thin. And then I will put a little mustard.
Ouais. Yes.
Wait.
Ouais. I'm French all of a sudden.
Dijon or like French? I mean, or French's or like a...
Seeded? Do we want non-seeded?
Well, it depends
A
on what
spicy-
else is coming.
All right.
Well,
All right. Okay, and then I'm going to put on some turkey breast.
okay. Yes. Warm.
Warm. Okay, and then I'm going to put some prosciutto.
Colder.
Take off the prosciutto.
Sissy. Is that our word for sissy?
There you go.
And then I'm going to put on some foie gras.
Oh, so cold.
Take it off.
Only because
Removed.
the combination, not the good combination. Yeah.
Right.
Removed. Brie. Some thin slice. Nope. Take it
not
off.
into
It's
it.
gone. It's gone.
You can't really slice brie thinly either. Let's be honest.
provolone.
Provolone. What are we still left with? Oh, turkey.
We have turkey, mustard, and mayo.
Okay.
Okay, and then what about some thin pickle slices?
On another sandwich. Not
Great.
the combo.
Great.
Yeah.
Listen,
No, we're gonna say.
this is your sandwich.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. What about thin slices of, let's say, a hot pepper?
With turkey and provolone. Not really. No.
Okay. All right. What about some shredded lettuce?
Okay. Yes.
Avocado?
Avocado for a scherzel.
Okay.
Tons of avocado. Noted. Tomatoes.
Yes, I like tomatoes.
Let's say like some kind of red pepper jelly, something weird.
I mean, I would go for something weird. Red pepper jelly. I feel like you got the red from the tomatoes. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed with my brain right now.
I feel that way.
By the way,
all
I think like
time.
maybe sun-dried tomatoes because that seems like it would go well with.
That's
if you want to make it
beautiful.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
So I think we're in like the Italian.
Olives?
We're in the Italian zone right
you wanna
now.
do
So then you
olives?
don't really. No,
I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, me neither. They hog up too much attention.
I like olives, but not on this sandwich.
I agree with you.
Not this particular sandwich.
Don't you find that some items, though, they really do take up too much attention? Like an olive
Oh, for sure.
on a
Like
sandwich takes up too much attention.
yes, garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much garlic. Maybe more like what is like truffles. Like everything just tastes like bacon. Everything just tastes like
Right.
bacon.
Which is wonderful.
Which is
Yeah,
amazing. I
Exactly.
think
You just
it-
have to commit.
Right. Bacon is always amazing on anything.
Are you a cheeseburger
But let's
fan?
not like saute some Brussels sprouts in bacon and not pretend that we're eating bacon,
Oh, no.
right?
I love that, though.
That does actually sound
Yeah.
kind of good. I feel like my stomach growled. I'm sorry. But wait, are you a cheeseburger fan?
Yeah, I mean I like hamburgers. I like but
Not
I
cheeseburger.
haven't really been eating cheese so much.
What do you
That
eat?
sounds so
you know,
actressy, but it's just I actually
What would
found
you
that
eat
I-
at a baseball
Doesn't
game?
sound-
Oh, well, my favorite actually, I went to Fenway and I love and also I've been to Wrigley Field and the traditional, like, we just have hot dogs, popcorn, pretzels, and beer is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because you can pick, I'm sort of, I don't love the newfangled stadium, even Citi Field, where
I'm
they have all these
completely with you,
elaborate.
where they have a Shake Shack and
I
they
don't
have-
go to
right.
baseball games to eat sushi. I'm not going to have raw fish at a stadium.
Absolutely
it's
not.
Gonna happen.
Stick to the basics. Get a
It's too
hot
many-
dog,
it's too
Cracker
confusing.
Jacks. Always going to
Exactly.
go with the classics.
So my favorite thing is the warm pretzel with mustard
Amazing.
and beer, which is basically like
Yeah.
bread and liquid bread.
And what kind of beer do you go? Do you go for like the domestic, like a Bud Light or a Coors Light, or do you go for more of like a microbrew? Or
Well, this is the thing. I mean, they don't really the microbrews. It seems a little pretentious, but I mean, I love a good microbrew.
Sure.
But it's mostly like Budweiser.
yeah,
you know, at
I'm with you.
stadiums.
Bud Light.
I will never
I'm
be
just-
doing
yeah.
a Budweiser commercial after this podcast. Thanks, guys. My dreams have just
What do you
been
mean?
Or
shattered.
maybe you are. What do
Yeah,
you mean? You
well-
just said you love.
Yeah.
I don't love it. It's just what's available. Sorry.
All right, now you definitely will be.
That's the new slogan this year, by the way. Budweiser. I don't love it. It's just what's available.
I do love those horses, though. Who doesn't love those old Budweiser horses?
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to get back in.
Yeah. The
true.
what are they called? The Clydesdales.
The Clydesdales, yes. All right, so are we ready to call some listeners right now?
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna call some random people.
Here we go.
Sim is vetted,
Okay.
and they're gonna tell us. They're gonna ask us a problem, and we're gonna attempt to give
them
advice.
Yeah, we're gonna call Heather in Michigan right now. She's 28.